Welcome back to the channel. As you can probably tell, we are back doing the face cam version of the channel. I just wanted to go back to basics, so we are going back to my very first setup. In the comments, let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have any suggestions to change anything, I am open to any suggestions you guys have, and please try and ignore as much background noise as possible. There might be some, but I'll try and keep everything as best as I can. This week we will be reviewing Renegades Book 2, Archenemies by Marissa Meyer. I have already done a review on Book 1. I will put a link to it up in the cards so you guys can go rewatch that before you guys watch the video talking about Book 2. If you guys are new to the channel and forgot how these videos work, I know it's been a while. The way it works is we break the video down into a couple of sections. Part 1, summary of the story. Part 2, what I think worked in the book. Part 3, what I don't think worked quite as well. And then final part is my final thought and overall rating of the book. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Archenemies takes place 6 months after Book 1. Nova has now officially integrated herself into the Renegades. Everyone fully accepts her as a renegade, and she's slowly working her way into the artifacts department to figure out where they're hiding the real helmet of Ace, so she can finally continue her mission to steal Ace's helmet back to the anarchists. While all that's going on, the Renegades started to unveil what they're calling Agent N, which is basically a serum that is designed to take away the powers of a prodigy when it's administered. And this freaks Nova out because now, not only does she have to get the helmet of Ace back to the anarchists, she has to figure out a way to neutralize Agent N for the anarchists themselves, but also figure out a way to weaponize Agent N against the Renegades if it's ever needed, and it comes to an all-out battle between the two groups. This only gets more complicated when she realizes that one of her fellow Renegades is very, very close to figuring out who she really is. So Nova has to be incredibly careful while she's putting all of her plans into action. First thing that I think really worked in this book is Adrian. Now this is definitely Adrian's book. He gets, I think, the lion's share of the focus and the character development. The book is still split between Nova and Adrian, but Adrian's part in the book is very much increased from Book 1. Book 1, the book was more or less evenly split between the two of them, but Book 2, Adrian takes a very much a more active role in the book, because in this book he finally starts to question the Renegades and their methods with the whole rollout of Agent N and what it can mean to the future of the Prodigy. The whole Agent N thing is basically going to be used on anyone that the Renegades consider not to be acting on their code. So anyone who's just using their powers in violation of said code, even if they're innocent and not affiliated with any villain gang or anything, if they're misusing their powers, the Agent N is going to be used on them, which definitely brings up a moral quandary that Adrian has to deal with as he's starting to realize that the Renegades might not be as noble as he originally thought they were. On top of battling with his moral question of what the Renegades are doing, he also has to be really concerned with keeping his identity as the Sentinel a secret. That was still part of Book 1, but now it's just a more intense thing because all of the Renegades are out to get him. Now that Agent N's a thing, he knows that if he's caught, it could mean game over. If he got caught as the Sentinel and got Agent N used on him, everyone's gonna know he's a Sentinel already. So there's just a ton of tension on Adrian's part of the story, and a lot of that tension is well written by Marissa Meyer, and I think this was definitely Adrian's book to shine, and I enjoyed his entire arc through the book. Second thing I think really worked was that Marissa Meyer was able to adapt the whole mutant cure storyline from X2, if anyone's seen that movie. She adapted the premise of X2's whole mutant cure plot very well, but it's a different way of doing the story, which I think worked very well. And I enjoy X2, so it was really cool to see Marissa Meyer doing an adaptation of that movie and doing it really well in a way that kept me interested in the entire book the entire way through. Third thing we're going to talk about is Nova's character in the book. Again, Marissa Meyer continues to do a very good job at writing Nova's character as an undercover spy who has to lead a double life, and that only gets more complicated as she starts to get very close to Adrian in order to figure out where Ace's helmet is. She befriends Adrian, and Marissa Meyer very much does the whole trope you might think where Adrian and Nova get very close, they start forming a relationship and all that. That's there, but I think Marissa Meyer was able to toe a very delicate line, because I don't love books like that where that's like the main thing, but I think Marissa Meyer was able to toe that line with Nova and Adrian's characters very well without the whole relationship going overboard and becoming so annoying. I very much appreciate that she was able to write their relationship like that. One thing with her character, she, at least in this book, is very flat at character arc wise, because she's basically the same character we met at the start of book 1. She starts doubling down on her belief that the anarchists are doing the right thing because the Renegades start to introduce Agent N, and she starts to really see that Agent N is just a pure way to control the population of the prodigies. She's the first one to see what this is, and she only doubles down on her belief that the Renegades are the bad guys, like are in the wrong, which that's fine. This is the book I think where Nova's the weakest, again, because she doesn't change that much overall in like a big way compared to like Adrian. She does change, it's not in a big way. She doesn't start agreeing with the Renegades or anything like that. Nova's character was still good. I liked how Marissa Meyer was writing her, but there was a little bit of a flat character arc, which I'm fine with. I get what Marissa Meyer was doing, but it's just something I noticed with her character while I was reading the book. Jumping to the final section, talking about what I don't think worked quite as well in the book. I'm going to be talking about the end of the book for this, so spoiler warning, I'll put a time code on the side so you guys can jump to my final thoughts on the book. I'll give you guys a second to jump if you don't want to get spoiled. The thing I'm going to talk about that involves the ending is the fact that Nova gets caught. Her one teammate, Dana, has been following her the entire time as a butterfly. Dana is able to track Nova to the anarchist headquarters, and Nova realizes that she's been caught and she has to contain Dana in her butterfly form, so Dana can't escape and tell the other renegades what's going on. But the thing is, by the end of the book, her renegade team gets to the headquarters where Dana's being held, and they don't find Dana. They don't notice that one of her butterflies or anything. The crazy thing is they are led by one of Dana's butterflies. So I think Marissa Meyer missed an opportunity almost to have Nova get exposed by Dana and the rest of her team not believe her or something like that. But I get what Marissa Meyer was going for, waiting to do the whole big nightmare reveal during the last book. But I think there was a very good opportunity that would have made sense for Dana to expose Nova. That way the team is divided. Do they believe that Dana's right? Do they trust Nova? I understand why Marissa Meyer wrote the book the way she did and wanted to wait doing Nightmare Reveal in book 3. Final thoughts on the book here. Overall, I really did enjoy Archenemies. I thought Marissa Meyer was able to continue what I enjoyed about the series, which is the books feel very much like Young Justice, if anyone's watched that. I really enjoyed that as a fan of Young Justice. So again, I cannot recommend this book enough to anyone who, if you're a fan of DC and Marvel, I definitely recommend this book. It's really good action, really interesting characters, a world that feels familiar, but Marissa Meyer is still able to make her own. So I definitely cannot recommend this book enough. So I'm going to be giving Archenemies an 8 out of 10. If you guys have read Renegades or Archenemies or any of the other books in this series, feel free to discuss it down in the comments, but try and keep the comments spoiler free. I want to go into book 3 knowing as little as possible. I can give you guys my genuine reactions, but other than that, try and keep it spoiler free. Feel free to discuss in the comments. Also, down in the comments, if you guys have books you want me to do reviews on in the future, leave those down there and I'll check them out. As always, I will leave links to my social media. My Instagram and TikTok are both RM Book Reviews. Highly recommend checking out my TikTok. There's a bunch of stuff on there that I have not posted up on either my Instagram or the channel, so feel free to check any of that stuff out. It is really fun and I spent a lot of time on it and I think you guys will enjoy it. That is going to be it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Till then, have a great week and don't forget, keep on reading.